Let's get the thoughts of my panel. I am joined by political editor of the Express, Sam Lister, Tory peer Lord Bailey, and ex-Labour advisor Matthew Larser. I'm going to play you a couple of clips now. This is Sir Keir Starmer, and he was being asked about Jeremy Corbyn. Okay, this is the ghost of this. It's Long Corbyn he's dealing with, isn't it? I think. But here we go.
In 2019, I campaigned for the Labour Party, as I've always campaigned for the Labour Party. I wanted good colleagues to be returned to Parliament. I knew we had a job and a half to do as a Labour Party because I didn't think we were going to win that election. Afterwards, because we got the worst result since 1935, the electorate clearly gave their verdict to us, and we did a lot of work on how we needed to change the party.
Okay, so apparently Sir Keir Starmer was asked 5 times to say whether or not he thought Jeremy Corbyn would make a good Prime Minister, and he didn't really answer that question. There is another clip that I'm going to play you now before I go to my panel. Also, is this Keir Starmer, and this is when he's being grilled on tax.
Well, in relation to taxation, I do need to be really clear. We are not going to increase income tax, national insurance, or VAT. And the reason for that is because I think with the tax burden being as high as it is, and a cost of living crisis, that is the wrong thing to do, particularly for working people. So we're not going to do that.
Okay, all right. I mean, he's kind of just repeating stuff that he said quite a few times before, really, isn't he? I think at this point.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the Corbyn question, isn't it? Because he clearly did go out and he didn't just talk about Labour when he was campaigning in that election. He talked specifically about Jeremy Corbyn being a good future leader. Now, obviously, since then, we've had the invasion of Ukraine, we've had the pandemic. How would this country have coped under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership? And that's what Keir Starmer was advocating for. Yeah. And he has accused Rishi Sunak of being a liar, but I think he has his own questions to answer about whether he misled the public last time round.
Yeah, no, I think indeed he does. Now, Matthew, yesterday I brought to our viewers and listeners' attention a Labour canvasser who was out and about saying that he didn't actually like Keir Starmer, he was actually going to go and vote Lib Dem. And then, moments later, it turned out that the lady who's supposedly in charge of Labour's Islington North Division was actually campaigning for Jeremy Corbyn, then hid in a bush when she was caught.
Yes, that's my favourite moment of the campaign.
Is there actually much of an appetite for Sir Keir Starmer? My point being is, are we potentially about to get a Keir Starmer government, big majority, and then wallop, he's actually incredibly unpopular as a bloke?
Well, I think that the government is going to have a lot of challenges to it if he does, as we expect him to do, win the election. I mean, we've got, Labour's got more members than all the other parties put together. So the fact that one of them, maybe in a seat where the Lib Dems are second, I don't know, decided that they were going to do it. I mean, famously, there was a by-election in Richmond, upon Thames, some time ago, which was that Goldsmith by-election, where Labour got fewer votes than it had members because people wanted to tactically vote. So, I mean, and in terms of Islington North, the said person has been hiding behind the hedge, got found out, and is now no longer a member of the Labour Party.
Oh, gosh, OK. Well, I suppose that does away with the lazy trope that Labour sometimes get more votes than people that live in the sea. But there we go. Sean, there is a clip I would like to play to you. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it now or afterwards, but it's about Rishi Sunak. It's about the ECHR. Which we'll play to you in a little bit. But apparently he was booed, someone shouting shame on him when he was saying how he would even potentially leave the ECHR, which I find quite astonishing, really. But, I mean, Rishi Sunak's popularity is absolutely shot, isn't it?
There's two things I'd say. Rishi Sunak is in a tough position, 14 years of government, leading us through some of the toughest time the countries have ever had. Of course, he's been under assault. But I often wonder, I'm beginning to wonder with these debates, what is the makeup of the room? Is someone deliberately leading one way? And actually, I hope that isn't true, because it'll put BBC and ITV and all the press under the pressure of, at some point, you have to be at least level. And it looks like now media outlets are political campaigning, and at this point it seems
it's funny you should say that, because a little bit later on in the show we're going to play you a clip. They mentioned Nigel Farage's name in the room. They mentioned his name, and then there was a little bit of an audience, and then Fiona Bruce stopped and goes, "Oh, it's raised some eyebrows," just the very mention of Nigel Farage's name. So shortly I will play you that clip of Rishi Sunak mentioning the ECHR and just gauge the audience's reaction to it, because I actually think it's quite important to think, who are in the rooms here? Who are in the rooms when you're getting this? Because that is what is portrayed out to the nation. I think we can actually play that clip.
Foreign court, including the European Court, forces me to choose between our country's national security and membership of that court. I'm going to choose this country's national security every single time.
So when you say it's a foreign court, just to be clear, when you say it's a foreign court, it's a court that...
Yeah, see, I had a smattering of applause, and then someone like, shame, shame. Yeah, I mean, how dare somebody want to choose our national security over a foreign court? Shameful stuff, isn't it? Anyway.